Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Mochen Lahira Online Smicha. As we are getting deeper and deeper in the month of Elul and our preparations for the Yomim and the Raim, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is getting clearer and clearer. So there are the famous things that it says in Shulchan Aruch, how a person prepares, and the different remuzim that the Dorish Rishumah said for the name Elul. But there are also those that are not so famous. And I'd like to discuss some of them and see what we could do to increase in our Avodah and Chodesh Elul based on the parshas that we read during the Chodesh Elul. You know that the Rebbe in the earlier Sikha spoke about the Shoiftim v'Shoitim Titan L'cha B'chol Sharecha, how it is applicable to the Avodah of Chodesh Elul and the Ari Miklot that's discussed in these parshas. So there is a pasuk that says, Lo yachel dvaroi, don't make your words cheap. Kichol ashiyetze mipiv yaseh. Whatever you uttered from your mouth, whatever you said, you should do. And it's known, the Chazal tell us, Lo yachel dvaroi, kichol. The last letter from those words, Lo Yachel Dvarei Kechol, is Soifei Teves Elul. Spell out the words Elul. Meaning, spell out the word Elul. Meaning that especially in the month of Elul, one has to be very careful to be careful in the words that he says and keep what he says. Now, during these weeks, we also say the pasuk that we also learn in the Chumash, the pasuk, Moitzeis Vasecha Tishmer, that whatever utterance your lips make, your mouth makes, you shall keep. Kashanidarta LaHashem Alikecha, like you promised to Hashem. Or there's another pasuk that says, Kisider Neder. It's all in these weeks. When you make a promise, a pledge, Lo Yisa'acher L'Shalmoi, do not delay to fulfill your pledge. So actually, about this statement, there's actually, the literal translation means any commitment, any promise, make sure you keep. But there is a deeper pshat to the promise, which is especially connected to the month of Elul. And that is every neshama, every human being, every yid, before he comes down to this world, there's a commitment that we make. There's a promise, a pledge that we take. And that's the opening statement in Tanya, as he brings the Gemara from Nida. Mashbi'in oisoi, Tihi tzaddik va'al tihi rasha. We make a commitment. We commit to try to be a tzaddik, and God forbid not be the opposite of a tzaddik. So make sure that commitment that you made as you enter this world, you keep. And the pasuk says, "Kisider neder leisa'acher l'shalmei." Don't wait too late to do it. Do it when you're young, because things get more difficult, more painful, more tiresome when you're older. Train yourself when you're young to do the right thing. And the Chedushei Arim actually adds that if it's Moitzes Vasecha Tishmer, if you keep what you commit to do, then you'll have the schus of the other place, the bracha that's using the words Moitzeh. And that is Moitzeh Pi Hashem Yichya Adam. That Hashem's words will give life to the person. If you keep your words, then Hashem will make sure to sustain you with all goods that you need. So especially, we find that what you say and what is extremely important during the month of Elul. Now, what you say has an effect to you, to be careful, you keep what you say, and it had an effect, especially during these months, those who lead communities are preparing their speeches, what to tell other people to do. So here too, it is a lesson in one of the parshas that we read in the month of Elul. The pasuk says, by a specific avera, the Torah says, "Uvi'arta hara mikirbercha," that when you punish that individual, you will uproot the negative from within you. The Chol Yisrael Yishmu v'yiro, and everybody else will see what happens to the negative, to the bad. So there's a Chassidish pshat that if you want other people to behave, you want to teach other people what to do, first do v'arta hara mikirbecha. First, you clean up yourself. Clean up the negativity within yourself. And when you come there as a clean person, then v'chol Yisrael yishmu v'yiro. Then you're sure that you'll have a much easier effect on other people, to influence other people to be good. And as the Chassidus all over says, Shoiftim v'shoitrin titin l'cha b'chol sha'arecha. First start with yourself. And where should the shofet, where should you put a guard? Where should you put a mica, which is another one of the mitzvahs that's mentioned in these parshas? B'chol sha'arecha. In all your entrances. What is a person's entrance? Anything that goes in and out of a person's body, make sure it's al pi Torah. Make sure that your mouth, your eyes, your ear, your hearing, everything should be done in a way, the way Torah allows you to do it. So there's a story of a chassid that when he was younger, he was very talkative. And he was influential, and he was doing a lot of good things. And at his older age, he stopped talking so much. So they asked him, why? What happened? So he said, Hashem was very kind to us. Hashem made sure that we have body parts within us that are very challenging, which means you could either choose to do the right thing or chas v'shalom, do wrong things with it. Take your mouth. You could either say good things or chas v'shalom, speak lashon hara, speak negative things. But Hashem was so very kind to us that to give you a protection, He created two fences before something comes out of your mouth. What are the two fences? There's the teeth and there are the lips. So before something comes out, there are two gates, there are two sha'arim. So as long as I was a youngster, and Baruch Hashem, I had teeth and I had my lips, so I was able to be sure I had a protection, a strong protection to make sure that what I'm saying is accurate and good. But when I got older and I lost one of my protections because I lost my teeth, I have to be much, much more careful to what I say, and therefore he was minimizing his speech. So it's a very, very interesting thought. So I heard somebody ask, based on this story, why is it only that the Eibishter made two protections on the speech? Why don't we find there's another possible hazardous shar that a person might have? The eyes, the eyesight. A person could choose to look in good stuff, in Svarim, and in Yonei Kedusha, or Chas v'Sholom find himself looking in other things. And yet, for the eyes, the only thing Hashem made was the eyelids, to close your eyes. Why isn't there a double protection for the eyes too? So I heard somebody saying, a Chassidish Rosh Hashiva said, that guess what? Even for the eyes, there is a double protection. Of course, there is the eyelids, but there is something that comes in first, even before the eyelids. And that is that what turns a person, what interests a person to look in the neck and somewhere different, because he's unoccupied. His mind is wandering around, so he's loose. When you're loose, you find yourself looking at anything. But if a person fills himself up with good stuff, he fills himself up with good Torah and good thoughts, so his mind is preoccupied with holy items, he doesn't find himself drifting off to look anywhere else. So the first fence for a pure eyesight is to actually fill yourself up with the Yonei Kedusha. That alone minimizes your interest looking elsewhere. And then there is the eyesight, then there is the eyelids, that's the second fence. And if you chas v'sholom end up somewhere, at least you could close your eyes. Now, this too, there is another remez to a mitzvah that's mentioned in these parshias. In these parshias, we learned that if you buy a house and you have a roof, you have to make sure nobody could fall from the roof. So it says, "Va'asisa maika ligagecha." You have to make a fence around your roof. So maika in Chassidish Svarim it says is a Rosh Tevis. Hirhure avera, kashime avera. Maika means a fence. What's the fence that you have to make? is don't even allow a hirur avera. Don't even allow a thought of an avera to enter your mind, because the thought of the avera is even stronger, even worse than the avera. And therefore, step one is to fill yourself up with good stuff. Fill yourself up with purity and spiritual stuff, that you're more refined, that you don't allow yourself to drift to that direction. And those are the two fences to protect yourself, to give yourself a chance. And the pasuk actually says, and this is in one of the haftarahs of these couple of weeks of Chodesh Elul, in Yeshaya and Nun Beis, it says, Ki ayin ba'ayin yiro b'shuv Hashem tzion. That eye for eye will see when Hashem will return to Tzion. What is ayin ba'ayin? You should say ki ba'ayin yero. What is ayin ba'ayin? So pshat is based on the investment, how everybody does to themselves to make sure that their eyes are geared to look in the right direction. That's how much we will be zoicha to be able to merit to see in the good of when Mashiach comes. Ki ayin ba'ayin yero. To be able to have the schus to see the beautiful glory of Mashiach and enjoy it, it will depend how much you invested. And I'd like to finish off with a slogan, a statement. Not too long ago, a Skolener Rebbe passed away, and I read that he made a niggin with these words. And these Yiddish words, I think it's a very powerful words. And he says like this: "Es darf der gain in Leben zu geben." It has to be part of your life. It should be a must in your life to give. Far der to this was tut dir geben dein Leben. For this person or for this being that gives you life. Again, as darf der gain in Leben. It has to be a must in your life, to geben, to give back, to give for them to this being, was tut dir geben dein Leben, the one that gives you life, the one that Hashem that gives you life. It has to be a must in your life. I want to be close to Him. I want to do what's right. When you get that feeling, then your Elul will be geschmack. It won't be fearsome, and your whole Chodesh HaChagim, the Chodesh Shvi, which is Mushba Mikol HaChagim, which is satiated, loaded with mitzvahs, will be a freiliche month.